Everybody knows Juana, co-chair of NCAI Task Force on Violence Against Women, and Majel Dixon, co-chair of the NCAI Task Force on Violence Against Women. Juana has been a member of NCAI for over 30 years and currently serves as the recording secretary for NCAI board. She has served as the traditional legislative councilwoman for the Palma Band of Mission Indians since 1970. Majel is the current delegate and chief justice for the Central Council, Tlingit, and Haida Indian tribes of Alaska, and has worked in various capacities of advancing domestic violence protections for women and children since 1995. Please welcome Juana.
Hello, good morning. Good morning. Oh, geez, Minnie, you're rocking my world today. You got my cute little legs traveling around the back. I'm just kidding, but oh, no, I'm not. But all right. But it's extraordinarily wonderful. My mother was one of those great leaders in my life, along with Juanita Otto and Mamie Bohe and others, and serving with them. And they're in our spirit and hearts tonight. Hey, where'd I go this morning? You know, I'm a little busy, but I wanted to acknowledge our leadership that are the women of our board and our youth, and that we're going to have a moment to drape them with a shawl. The young ladies would drape our leadership here with Michelle. And that it's our Dancy received her. She joined us in D.C. when we did that ceremony over there at the White House. And these are our leadership who have stepped up. And at one point, even President Hosley had actually lent her lobbyists to us and to help us to move it forward. And Monica and their people came with great support from Gila River. And when you have no knowledge of what they do as leaders, I wanted you to know, and I wanted to acknowledge them before you and our young people who are going to also champion this from the leadership world of being up here at the executive board. So, when you walk in the room behind you, you see the row of women who, I don't know if you have the fellas in there, I can't see from here, but our relatives are all draped with the shawls as you come in. And it was to prepare you for the symbolism of our unity, of calling you to come forward. We are in this time, when we go to this time where it goes into another year beyond the year it was supposed to be authorized, which is now 2018 to 19 to 20, then we get very tumultuous times in which we get threatened. And we're preparing ourselves to protect ourselves at the World Court as well, with the Human Rights Commission and the Commission of Women that will be meeting. And we've been talking with them as well. And they've also reached out to me and others. Would you please stand? I want you to look and see as you came in. The desire was to show you that we are in unity with you. And that we are calling the leadership of our country to come forward, that we need you to step up. And the women leadership who have been draped, please stand. All of you, please. You are the women who have carried this. Stay standing for a moment. I would like the women to come forward to the front here. There's something we're going to do, and I want to have you stand right here. And if you notice, well, can you come forward, the women leaders? The reason being, and I want, once you come here, I want the women and the men who are in the corridors that are in that, they're taking pictures of it right now, so I'm trying to give them an opportunity. I want you to come forward as well, if you're a leader in that line. And I want you to see these women before your eyes who have beared witness to many things that have been a part of our world. And in their own way, they have stepped up and been there for us in many different ways and spoken in their own nations and fight these fights. And I wanted you to recognize the leadership of NCAI and the steadfastness of this leadership in terms of VAWA. We have very few opportunities to gather and meet as leadership. And I know I wanted to honor you and make sure that while you're standing there, each of you turn to your right and look at the sister in front of you to make sure her shawl is going to show the language. You may have to push your hair to the side because we're going to take a picture, the leadership up here do the same, that you're going to take a picture with that being seen, and it's going to be a message to Washington, D.C., and to Judicial Council and Judiciary Committee. Once you straighten them out, you turn forward again. You know, but I want that picture taken. And what I want to have in honoring those, oh, I forgot about me. All of those who are in the corridor there, in the aisle in the center, I need you to come forward now. And I need you to stand with these women. If there is a leader in the room who has not received a shawl, we will certainly take note of that and make sure you do. And it's something we did purposely to give the message of the red of the missing and murdered. And in the note of sovereignty and Native women's safety was the message for sexual assault, domestic violence, dating violence, stalking, and trafficking. So the men, we have asked, the men in the room, once this group comes and joins, the optic people, when we get this chance to take this picture, please guide us in terms of how you want them to position themselves. We may ask some of the leaders to come up here. We have to split the room. Maybe we could do that from that number from you forward. Can you come up here on the dais to take the picture? Yeah, and then we want you to take a more spread out because we need more room. I hope someone's on the floor getting the notion of what I'm saying and make it happen. and I want to honor my co-chair, our co-chair, Michelle Dermott, who is Lincoln Haida, who co-chairs with me on the ballot task force. Would you like to say more with you?
So good morning, everyone. I just thank you for the few moments today in recognizing the 25th anniversary of the Violence Against Women Act. It is scheduled for being reauthorized. It should have been reauthorized last year, and it was not. The House bill passed 1585, and it had all of the provisions that tribal leaders recommended, and it was a very powerful bill, and the Senate has yet to take this matter up. The one bill that they have circulated takes us back decades. The jurisdictional provisions that they're proposing, once again, is very offensive and provides for really paternalistic overview of our courts and imposition of their views on us. And so we need to all be united in recommending that House Bill 1585 provisions be what the Senate adopts. And so with that, I just want to say thank you so much for your time today, the recognition that you give to this important subject, because for so long, our women and children have been disproportionately abused, and we are making a difference. The Special Domestic Violence Court jurisdiction of 2013 has really made a difference in our communities, and we need to continue that progress rather than take a step back. So I say, Kunis Hawa.
I would ask the male leadership at the table to put their red ribbons on, please. The leadership below, right here, who have received your red ribbons, please put them on. What I would like to ask, so that the women can see you, all the men in this room that are tribal leaders, advocates, and tribal members of their society, if you support what we're doing as the women of your nations, please stand. The women who are standing up here, you are bearing witness to the leadership of our men, because we're going to need you to come forward and the journey ahead as we're going to give to you a toolkit of how to proceed. So I'm going to ask the women at this point, I want them to raise their arms up to their shawls and turn their back to you to give the message of what we are going to do, and that we are going to protect sovereignty and the native safety of our women. So let them see your shawl for the message. And I want the men to just stay standing while they do this. And you can see it already, and let this happen now. sisters who will bear this responsibility, and you always have. You are boots on the ground, and the men know this. Now we share this together. We have a journey. It's going to be a tough one because we're going to get VAWA reauthorized, and we have sex trafficking involved in that, which will be important. The red represents the missing and murdered. The words represent our efforts in staying together on sovereignty and the protection of our Native women. It includes our children, our men, and our elders. Tribal people do not exempt themselves from the entire family. Chonamish, I am humbled that the sisters have come forward in leadership. I look forward to this journey with you. If you want one more picture, this is the time to take it. Ladies, you can turn around now. I love that. They just do what they do. And if you want to encourage these women, give them your praise. You can shake each other's hands and go back to your seats or hug up, whatever, you know how we are. Chonamish, on this. We do have a request. If you did not get a shawl and you're a woman leader, Michelle and Paula, she's right here, will take your names and make sure that we get one to you.
Okay, don't forget, in any redrafts of legislation at the Senate level, Feinstein and Graham, I guess are working on that, not to exclude the provisions for tribal governance, including protecting our law enforcement officers and our children as well. All right, so I'd like